Hey guys, welcome back to the last of our videos about the color codes and what different types of partner do you have. Today we are wrapping up with yellows. Yellows and what makes a color a color. So what makes somebody a red, a blue, a white, or a yellow has to do with what do they want. Now this is so useful for conflict when it happens inside of a marriage or inside of a relationship, because conflict is based around what do you want. And being able to know what color you are and what color your partner is can help inform your fights and conflict, because it'll help you understand, why does this matter to me and why does this matter to my partner. Now, yellows, let's dive in. What makes a yellow is that what they want more than anything else, what they place at the top of their list, is to enjoy life, to have fun. So unlike a white that typically tries to avoid negative emotions, a yellow wants to actively seek out positive emotions. They want to have fun. They want to enjoy life. They want to be around family and community and be around people. And for them, if they can live a life like that, that is pretty great. Now, I'll be honest, I live in America, and for most of Western society, yellows are not valued. They're just not. They're put up with till probably around middle school, and then they really need to quote unquote grow up. And basically that means is stop being immature, because in Western society yellows are typically considered immature. So if you know a yellow in your life, more than likely they've shifted colors and they are now acting like reds or they're acting like blues, because that's what society expects of them. But at their core, they're a yellow. So you may have a yellow in your life, you may be a yellow, and especially if you live in a Western society, you aren't going to think you're a yellow. This is not so much the case in more family-centered cultures such as Middle Eastern cultures, Asian cultures, where yellows are very prized and valued because they are the ones that are bringing all the family together and bringing all the friends together and making things enjoyable and having family outings and having parties that bring community together. Those are very valued traits in other cultures. So as I go through this, don't be surprised if I'm describing somebody that you may consider immature. That's just how our culture views yellows. It doesn't mean it's right, doesn't mean it's wrong, it is what it is. So, a yellow needs 4 things, and these typically tend to be what they fight about, get hurt about, and so it's important to know if you have a yellow in your life, these are the things that typically matter to them. So first and foremost is yellows need to look good. They need to look attractive. Now that doesn't mean that like, okay, hey, you want to sleep with me, but more in the sense of, hey, you want to be my friend. You want to invite me to your party. You want to follow me on social media. Living in America, yellows, there's a lot of yellows in the entertainment business. So acting, Hollywood, there's a lot of yellows on the internet, YouTube. It's basically this idea of you want to follow me and like me and be my friend and interact with me. And not just for the numbers. The yellows legitimately like these people and want these people in their life. And the reason that is because the second thing that yellows need is approval from the masses, meaning yellows want and need lots of friends. Typically more friends than any other color needs. And typically yellows like those friendships to be they typically like it to be very shallow compared to what other colors may define relationships as. Yellows typically form relationships out of, quite frankly, fun. It's enjoyable to be around this person, so therefore this person is my friend. So typically why yellows want a lot of friends is because that's how you have fun. It's much more fun when somebody else is around. And so yellows are kind of like a kid with a lot of toys, in that they have this group of friends that they hang out with and this group of friends, but if this group of friends they're hanging out with them and this group starts to be negative, like maybe there's fighting or there's just drama going on, they'll kind of back away from that group for a while and they'll go and they'll hang out with their other friends until this group fixes whatever's going on, and once this group starts being fun again, they'll jump right back in. But they typically won't stick around and fix problems because that's not fun. And so they can kind of be seen a lot of times as flighty, as hard to nail down, you know, not really committed or loyal to the group. And while some of that can be true, it's also, they're not as loyal as you may be. They're not as committed as you are. Doesn't mean that they're not loyal, doesn't mean that they're not committed. It just means that they would rather have fun, and they seek that out. The third thing that yellows need is to be noticed. So for them, it is very, very hurtful. It is very, very insulting if you ignore them. So if a yellow is trying to talk with you, if they're reaching out with you, if they're trying to engage you in a conversation and you don't talk to them, maybe because you're busy, maybe because you don't want to talk to them with what they want to talk about, because it's not interesting to you, it's still hurtful to them. And so typically why this is that yellows, if they're not being noticed, then they're not having fun. If people aren't noticing them, interacting with them, talking to them, they're bored. And if they're bored, then clearly life is not going the way that they need it to go. So they need to be noticed. Now, the last thing that yellows need is to be adored, which, what does that mean? Adored is this idea of how you make a yellow feel is their reality. Just like we talked about with blues, where blues are kind of emotional, but it comes from inside. Yellows seek out emotion in the world. They seek it out, which means that whatever they are experiencing from you, from their work, from their friends, from the culture in general, that is their reality. That is what is real to them. This is actually pretty cool because yellows don't need a whole lot of deep emotion. If you're a blue and you've got a yellow in your life, you may kind of consider it like they really only need the junk food of emotions. Kind of insulting, but not inaccurate. Yellows just need you to love them. Just need you to enjoy their company. Just be smiling and happy when you're around them. I have a niece that's a yellow, and I can tell her all day long that I love her, but if I pick her up in my arms and I give her a big old hug, then she knows she is loved. Because why? I just made her feel it. And that's how yellows are. You hug them, you love them, you compliment them, and they are loved. That's all it takes. So if you have a yellow in your life, appreciate them for what they are. They are the lighthearted, fun party people in your group. Yes, they may not take things as seriously as you. Yes, they may be kind of flighty compared to you, but it doesn't mean that they're not great people. It doesn't mean that they don't love or care. It's just their value systems are different than yours. That wraps us up with these 4 colors. I hope you've been able to find what type of partner you are, what type of partner you have. We're going to be putting out, this will probably be the last video of the season. And so if you've stuck around till the very end, I'm putting out another video to say kind of that same thing, just in case there's people that don't stick around to the very end, because I know that's how YouTube works. So thank you everyone for your support during this season. I will catch you back up in the next year, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye.
The Stockholm Lights.